Good morning, good morning. A lot of people haven't done early game skilling in RuneScape in forever, and Leagues is starting just tomorrow. So no matter what your relic choice is, well, let's be real, we're all picking Excavator. This video should work as a guide on how to approach early game skilling, and also some other lesser known methods that are not as obvious, or some methods that are exclusive to RuneScape 3 and are kind of new and you might have never done. And this should be extremely useful if you're picking Excavator, because we're cutting all the fat out of Archaeology and focusing on the things that actually matter in the skill. Let's start off with combat trading. It was significantly nerfed when Necromancy was released, probably because Necromancy does insane AoE compared to the other style, and nowadays your XP rates aren't really that great. But I have some good methods that are mostly AFK and you can just kill while doing them, and I think this is the best way to get your combat levels up to like 80 at least. If you take a Saradomin item to the bandit camp next to the guy who sells you the ancient staff, you can AFK there for basically forever, or unless you run out of prayer or something like that. But this should be a very AFK method, especially if you get the bone crushing necklace from Dungeoneering. These are the third necklaces, the bird one, the split dragon tooth one, and the demon horn one. So even the first one should work here. Then you combine that with the bone crusher that you get in your tool belt when you hit tier 4. This way you will never run out of prayer here. Just make sure to set up your bone crusher first. And another popular method of trading is fighting zombies or skeletons in the wilderness. There's also abyssal demons at later levels that aggro to you, and maybe other enemies I'm not considering, but the zombies and the skeletons are the easiest ones to AFK, and they're the most chilled ones to fight, and you can also get them as a slayer task, so doing these slayer tasks in the wilderness is actually really great. And I know these methods are a bit higher level, like at least 50s, 60s, but honestly getting to 50 and 60 is gonna be so fast doing absolutely anything in the game, I don't really want to cover that. Let's move on to Hunter. And yes, you old school players, the Natural Museum quiz is still here, so you can do that for your early XP. After that, by far the fastest method is catching whirlig eggs, but the only real issue with this method is that you need farming levels to actually get good XP. The second one already needs 30 farming, then 50, 70, 90 as you scale up in levels. And this minigame is pretty simple. You first click the plain one and then you spam click the other ones so you never lose these flowers, so you don't have to go and regather them. I'll link some guide in further detail down below. But how do we get those levels to start whirlig eggs or farming? Here there's gonna be two very branching paths depending on if you take the farming relic or not. If you don't take the farming relic, you can do the Violet is Blue quest and get a farming lamp from there, and then you can start your daily bee houses. These are insane XP for the effort they take. You just put some gold leaves into them and boom, you're getting insane experience. This farm is right behind player-owned farms, and while you're here, you might as well start it, but you will need 17 construction. I will get right back to that after I talk about the farming relic. And the farming relic insta-grows all your crops, so you can buy seeds from the guy in Trainer Village, or you can pickpocket the master farmers there if you want to grind some thieving first, or you can go to Thriftinas and go to the seed store there and buy even fruit tree saplings that are really good XP per GP. For construction, there is a new thing called the Fort of Forintry, where you are the leader of this fort and you have to build it up yourself. It's like kind of player-owned house. There is also a player-owned house, but it's like kind of different. It's like a bigger place where people can still interact with each other, but you have your own fort you build up. It's pretty cool. It has good skilling places and they give various benefits on depending on what you're actually doing. And starting this Fort Forintry questline is going to be extremely useful for your account in the long run. So I would recommend doing construction this way, at least early levels. But once you get to the later game stuff, maybe at that point you want to actually go and like use perfection to buy gold and do some random stuff. I'm not exactly sure, but building up some of these fort facilities is gonna be really nice, especially the Slayer hut for a good Slayer master. Speaking of Slayer, I would build this hut and take this Slayer master as the one I can, because it gives a lot of good AFK tasks. And just a disclaimer here, if there's some skills that are like really obvious to trade, I won't be covering them. Like fishing, you go fishing. Mining, you go mining. Smithing, you smith the things you mine. That's so simple and obvious, I'm not gonna be covering that. And most of these skills have tasks covered in them as well, so just do those tasks. Focus on doing the tasks that they have in their skills and then move on to whatever is the highest you can do. But I will take an exception to Divination, which is a new gathering skill that doesn't exist in old school RuneScape. And with Perfection, that is the auto-pick relic of the tier, I'm not sure if we need this skill a lot, but I think you at least need 80 to open Invention, otherwise you can't even use it. If Perfection skips that, then this skill is kind of pointless, I'm not sure, but assuming it doesn't, you will need to get Smithing, Crafting, and Divination to 80 before you can actually use your Perfection relic. And the regular way to train Divination is super slow. You want to catch these things and dump them into the pool. And that's all you're doing. You just get energies and dump them into the pool. But the issue here is that this is just a painstakingly long process and the XP rates are actually terrible. Like you're getting lower than old school XP rates. But fortunately, we don't have to do this apart from the tasks that are related to this. There is a daily D&D that you can do twice a day called Gothixian Caches, and they start at every starting hour lasting for 10 minutes or until you get 100 points. But this minigame has downsides, especially on a launch like this where everyone's playing it. It can get really annoying if multiple people are going for the same things because the statue ones are much better XP than bringing in the memories. So it's like skewed, you have to fight for points. It's not really fun at all. So I have an even better method. We will be combining Divination with Dungeoneering, and Dungeoneering will already give you all kinds of XP in different skills, and this Divination XP will be multiplied by 4 times with an engram. I'm gonna leave a full guide in the description about this. I haven't made one, but I'm sure I can find a good one. And to be quick, this just makes it so that you get 4 times the XP for Divination inside Dungeoneering, and you can dump all your energies, you won't be needing them. These resources are useless if you go Perfection, so this is just net profit. And you can actually even 2-tick these memories while you're gathering them, so this will be like a loop of actively gathering methods while you're doing Dungeoneering, and then you can stay AFK for like 5 minutes dumping them. So you have like an active gameplay, and then you have AFK after that, so you won't get burned out by constantly 2-ticking. And Dungeoneering is a huge skill. It's like a mini game on its own and a skill and a huge kind of thing. I'm not going to be covering all of it here. I'm sure you can find guides, and there's way too much going on for me to explain quickly. But the important thing here when you're training Dungeoneering, I would train the gathering skills that I didn't pick the relic for. So most people will pick Excavator, so you would want to train fishing and woodcutting here, and maybe even cooking. And this way, this XP is actually really competitive with the main XP rates in the game while training these skills otherwise. So you will be getting good XP while training Dungeoneering and Divination at the same time. And the combat XP here isn't great, but it's not nothing. I'll speak a bit about Runecrafting now, because it's changed in a way. It's kind of the same, you can still do your rune runs, and they are okay XP I think. But a way better method of training is doing Runespan. It's more AFK, and if you do the rune sphere that spawns in the middle, it's usually called out in the achievement help Discord. I'm not sure if they're gonna be calling it out for leagues, but you can ask there, and I'm gonna link them down below. Anyways, this rune sphere will give you massive XP when you get there, and when you're doing Runespan, it's just a more chill method of training Runecrafting, and honestly, even if it's slightly lower XP rates, it's still worth it. I'm not 100% sure if it is or isn't, but it's just a way better method to train. But later on, once you get to the higher levels, like 70s, 80s, you want to start doing Abyss Runecrafting with Archaeology relics that I'll cover later, or you want to be doing the Necromancy runes. They're also really good XP. When you start closing it on 99, then you start doing these actual rune runs. And at the end, crafting time runes and then doing the time bar shenanigans with tier 7 is gonna be really massive benefits for you. And also Runecrafting gives you the rune pouches for magic in this game, so that's also really nice. Okay, let's move on to Thieving. And Thieving gets auto-solved by the Thieving relic, so if you have the Thieving relic, you can just do the highest level NPC or whatever. But I want to talk about thieving for us who don't take thieving relic. And honestly, I would just pickpocket many when you start to get like the early levels, and then move on to gullible tourist in Menafos. This is like a world hopping NPC that gives you decent GP and pretty good XP by just spam clicking him. He can only spawn on one world. I'm not exactly sure how this will work in League, but I hope it's one world in the League's world, so you will still be able to do him. If that's not the case, then I don't really have any good methods till you hit 60. And after you hit 60, you can start safe cracking. Once again, I will leave a full guide in the description, but the essence is you need to do the midi quests for thieving in the Thieving Guild. There's a couple one of them. They're really easy. And then you start cracking safes around the world. And there's like a wiki page for a rotation you can do. You did a couple teleports, so getting a magic level would be nice to start out with. And then you just hop through these different places and crack the saves in them, and this is actually really good XP. Then I want to move on to summoning that I didn't cover in the combat section because it's very different from the other like combat style. It's not a combat style itself, it's just you summon a helpful creature to fight with you while you're doing it, and these give you minor buffs. Think of it like prayer, like an additional prayer you're using. And to even start training summoning, you will have to complete the Wolf Whistle quest, so make sure to do that. And then afterwards, I have no good methods before 60, so just make any pouches you can. You can complete the wolf pouches that you did during the quest, that should give you easy XP. I will link to a wiki guide or another site's guide that you can follow in what pouches you should be making. And keep in mind that there's a huge multiplier in League, so you don't have to buy as many, but they will have pouches that are easy to make for Iron Man. Another tip for summoning later on is that you can do the Arc Lake or boss AFK, and that will drop you a lot of charms. But unfortunately, to get full benefits from summoning, you will have to do a lot of archaeology and complete one of the worst mysteries in the game. And this mystery will need you to start your play on farms and get some of your skills up, and to complete some quests before that, and it's honestly such a pain with an Iron Man. So make sure you start breeding cows as soon as you step into the player on farms. Now let's move on to the entire reason I made this video, archaeology. You might be thinking that, Diamond, archaeology isn't that bad, we get a relic for it, that will auto-solve. No, it won't. Archaeology is a very beloved skill because it's massive lore and different kind of things you have to do, and it's a really robust skill. But in a League setting, this robustness turns to annoyance. And keep in mind, this is by far the slowest skill you gain in RuneScape. Divination is really slow in a way, but archaeology, because you have to get it to such a high level to get the full benefits of it, it's such a pain in the ass to train for Iron Man. People take hundreds of hours to finish this skill, and it's so boring as well, at least to me. Unfortunately, the skill is so overpowered for PvM that I can't just ignore it. So I have created a route to cut through the path of archaeology and actually get the items that will benefit me the most. This will include the best in slot PvM relics, the useful skilling relics that I actually think are worth going for in the League. There's a couple ones I left out from both of these because I don't think they will be that useful, but if you go to the wiki page of archaeology, you can see all the relic powers and you can do your own research about them if you want to go for them, but these should be the most important ones. And when following an archaeology leveling guide, you can just power through the levels as fast as possible while taking detours at these specific places that I mentioned in the recommended order section, and get all of these excavations done. And this way, your archaeology training will not waste time on useless relics or mysteries. And this should also give you close to the 15 mystery limit on the professor certification. I'm not sure if it does, but there's some really easy mysteries you can do at low levels, so just go to the mystery page in the archaeology page on the wiki if you haven't done that already. And if you get gatekept by the 500 excavations, you can just do the tutorial over and over again to reach professor. It's not that bad, but it is still a very annoying skill. Also, please make sure that you're running researches 24/7. You need to do 72 hours of researches to hit professor, so this is fully time-gated content. we still have Invention left that I haven't talked about, but Perfection will solve Invention so heavily that I'm not sure we need to talk about leveling it. I'm still gonna leave a guide down below, like an Invention training guide that I find, but I don't think you need to be focusing on that because everyone should pick Perfection. I don't see a single reason to pick Banker's Note. Just please do yourself a favor and pick Perfection. And that's the end of the guide. I don't think anything else is necessary to cover, but I still want to go through my relic picks and my thought process behind them, and maybe some useful tech I might have for them. And if you couldn't guess by the archaeology hate in this video, I am going excavator. Even if this was just the archaeology benefit and nothing else, I would still go it. And since the polls are looking like 99% of people are going excavator, I don't think I have to argue this choice a lot. My tier 2 relic choice is Farming Frenzy. I don't think any of these relics are that great. I think this is a tier of pick what you hate doing the most, and I hate doing farming runs, so this is an easy pick for me. And because the Pristin's Sea story is open from the beginning, you can just go and grab like 2-3 saplings and get insanely fast XP to start the leagues off with. You can probably get like 10 million XP with curry 3 seeds, so yeah, you're gonna be set for farming XP super easy if you want to. And then the tier 3 relic is just the teleport relics. They're all good, and I don't think you can go wrong with any choice. But I am going Assassin's Insight because it looks new and it has new teleports I haven't used before, so that's gonna be cool. Then we have tier 4 that I haven't decided yet. I am between Production Master and Clow Connoisseur. And the reason I haven't decided is that we don't know the full class list yet. When we do know how many points I can get with Clow Connoisseur, it will decide this for me. Because if there's a shit ton of points in Clow Connoisseur, then I'm taking it because I can just boost myself closer to tier 7 faster. But if there's not that many points or Production Master can compete, then I want to go Production Master to get my supplies in order. Then for the combat style relic, I am going range with bombardment. And I'm probably one of the only rangers in the league. There's a couple other ones, but I feel like range is gonna be super fun. It's close to what it is in the main game, but it's just turbocharged with a couple of abilities being a shorter cooldown. And the specialist relic giving me ultra powerful debuffs and SUVs. I feel like this is gonna be super fun for me. And I feel like my experience with the game and my experience with range, because it's my favorite combat style, and the cheating part as well, I feel like I can do some really cool stuff that people won't think about that I can showcase in the channel, so that's gonna be super fun for me. And then tier 6, pick Perfection. I don't care who you are, I don't care what your level of the game is, you pick Perfection. This is the only choice. Banker's Note is bait. Perfection is the only right choice here. I can't think of a single player who should pick Banker's Note. And then finally, for tier 7, I'm gonna be picking Specialist. I think it's gonna be the most fun for me. Ascension looks fun to you because of the damaging books, but I'm not really sure how it works. We don't really have like a good idea on how good it's gonna be. I know some of the numbers, but just not knowing how it actually functions is driving me off of it. And Specialist is really kind of dry. I get a free special attack at some point. I can get a free EOF, so I don't have to grind for one, so that's gonna be nice. And my special attacks are gonna be doing 50% more damage, and I wanna be utilizing these as much as possible. And this will just give me so many fun options to use, even outside of range. If I wanna do my Nami, I can do a 1 spec. If I wanna get an easy case switch, I can do that. There's just so many cool options to get with this perk, and I will be definitely picking Specialist as my tier 7 pick. And that's it, that's the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you learned something new, and I really hope that this helps people with their early game and mid-game skilling in RuneScape. And if you think you enjoyed watching this, please consider leaving me a like, that would really help me out. Also, I will be making least content about my progression. My goal is to get full best in South range setup, and that will be a huge grind. I'm not really going for points, and I will be going for fun with bossing. How I'm gonna approach this, what kind of videos are gonna be coming out, I haven't really made sure yet, but be sure to look out for some leaks experience and maybe some super stupid boss kills. Thanks for watching, bye!